Good evening and welcome to ECISD Live. My name is Scott Murray and I'm the superintendent of Ector County Independent School District, and it's a pleasure to welcome you to the show tonight. We have some really interesting opportunities that we're going to share with you this evening. Did you know that ECISD has these really unusual and incredible opportunities for kids in our district? We've got lots to share and some really special guests that are going to walk you through each of those scenarios tonight. But before we begin, wanted to give you a couple of district updates, things that are happening right now that you might find of interest and may need a little bit of your attention. The first one is this week is a pre-K Roundup in ECISD. We are busy searching for every 3 and 4-year-old child that we can find that resides in Ector County. Because we would like to invite all of those children to pre-K next year. We offer a full day pre-K opportunity for every 4-year-old child in Ector County. And next year, for the very first time, we're going to offer a half day 3-year-old program for every 3-year-old in Ector County. This week, we are rounding up all of those kids. So moms and dads, if you have a 3 or 4-year-old running around your house, and you know that they deserve a quality education, pre-K is the opportunity that you need to make sure that your kids are ready for kindergarten and elementary school, middle school, high school, and ultimately success in life. But early learning is so important for our kids. That brain is busy developing. You may learn a little bit more about that tonight as we talk about the brain. But our brain science tells us that between birth and the age of 4, so much of that child's brain is being developed, and pre-kindergarten is critically important. So we're rounding up children this week. We're asking them to apply. So moms and dads, you obviously fill out that application on their behalf. We need a good count of how many pre-Kers we're going to have so that we can make sure we have enough teachers to meet the needs next year for those children. So we encourage every parent of 3 and 4-year-olds to stop what you're doing this week, take a minute to apply. You can do that online or at any one of the 5 locations that we've set up. In fact, right now we have a pre-K roundup happening at one of our elementary schools. So we'll talk a little bit more about that. But again, you can visit the ECISD website to learn more about pre-K for your 3 and 4-year-old children starting next year. We also have an exciting announcement to make. I remember when I came to ECISD back in 2019, one of the things that I heard about this system was about the incredible music program that we had. And I got to know a few of our music directors and was able to quickly see some of the opportunities that students had in ECISD. And so tonight we are proud to announce that ECISD for the 7th year in a row has been named one of the best communities in the country for music education. And that is because of the amazing teachers and directors we have working with our children on a daily basis. It's because of the incredible opportunities that our kids have at the elementary, middle school, and high school levels in ECISD. We are really honored to receive this award, again, for the 7th year in a row. And I applaud the directors and teachers that are involved in that program. They do incredible work to make sure that the artistic needs of our students are met. In fact, tonight you're going to learn about one of the very unique music programs that we have in ECISD that actually helps us earn that best best communities in the United States for music education. You'll hear a little bit more about that later in the show. All right, speaking of the show, I want to jump into our topics tonight. We wanted to make sure that moms and dads in our community are well aware of the incredible and unique experiences that children can have as they travel through our system, elementary, middle school, and high school. And we went searching for those really unique courses and really unique opportunities that kids have within our system. And tonight we have gathered just a few of those so that they can share their stories with you. And we want to begin tonight by talking about the brain. Yes, the brain. And we're going to introduce neuroscience to you. Did you know that in ECISD, a high school student can actually take a brand new course, a college level course on neuroscience? And tonight, I'm going to ask Kristen Wittenberg to join us. Kristen is part of our innovation team in ECISD. She has really helped us wrangle this course and bring it into ECISD and made this opportunity available for our kids. So, Kristen, first, welcome to ECISD Live. Thank you for being with us this evening. And neuroscience, really?
Yes, sir. Thank you for having me on tonight. Yes, neuroscience is the study of our brain and our spinal cord and our nerves and how they're built and how they work. And when something's wrong with our brain or our nerves, it's really, that's one of the most important questions that we can answer right now, because I would say that probably everyone knows or has someone in their family who is dealing with a neurological disorder. Maybe they have epilepsy or Parkinson's disease or multiple sclerosis. And so neuroscience is really, really important work. And these are some of the most important research questions that we could be asking right now. And it's so exciting because as far as we know, Ector County ISD has the only accredited neuroscience course in a high school. And so we have a really wonderful teacher at New Tech Odessa, and I think you'll see her here in just a minute in a video. And she was so excited. She said, yes, let's do it. Let's bring neuroscience to our students. And so we have a group of kiddos at New Tech Odessa who are in this neuroscience course. And we have one from Permian High School as well that are participating in this course this year.
So what is neuroscience, and why would a student be interested in taking this course?
Right. Well, like I said, neuroscience is the brain, the spinal cord, and the nerves and how they are built. And so students in this class are getting an opportunity to work with universities. We have 7 different university partners that are working with us, including Harvard, the University of Michigan, the University of South Florida, and several other ones. And so the students are not only learning about neuroscience, lots of people could learn about neuroscience, but our kids are actually getting to work with real neuroscience data. So they're getting into cutting edge software. They're looking at microscopic images of fruit fly brains. They're tracing nerves. They're actually going to be working in virtual reality and looking at movies of 3 to 9 day old mouse brains. And they're watching those neurons as they make connections. Our students got to participate. Do I need to stop and listen?
Oh, you're good. Actually,
this will definitely be something that stands out on a college transcript, on a resume, to say, I took a neuroscience course in high school. That's unheard of. So whenever jobs, colleges see that on a transcript, they're going to be in for a surprise.
We're learning new things every day, and it excites me. I want to know more about the brain and how it works. This course made me feel like I actually like mattered in a way, because I was trying to because everybody wants to make a difference in the world, right? Well, this course is really helping with that, because we're trying to find new things along with scientists in other states and in other universities. And it just makes me want to help. That just really hits my heart because I want to be able to do that for people.
So I'm at Permian High School, but I start my day off every day at New Tech, and then I go to Permian High School just for this class, because it's been something I just always wanted to try out a different science that we weren't ever exposed to, and neuroscience seemed like the perfect opportunity. It's just you'll never learn anything that you learn here anywhere else. So just that new exposure to completely new concepts and completely new ideas is something that would really help, especially if you're pursuing a career in STEM. So I would definitely recommend it.
That's pretty incredible. So the course is offered at New Tech, but one of the girls that we interviewed, one of the students said she's from Permian High School. So do kids from other high schools, do they have this opportunity?
They do. And also we are working on possibly bringing this course or parts of this course to Permian. And so we are definitely working on getting this course at more of our schools. But yes, we had a Permian student take the course at New Tech. So you saw some of the really neat stuff they did. They were actually taking readings from a roach leg and seeing the neural images, the images of the neural signals going through the leg. And you saw the virtual reality where they were looking at the images. So what's really a great opportunity about this course is these students they're doing post-high school work. And so their resumes are going to completely stand out, as you heard the teachers say. And they're making partnerships with these universities. And, we have one student in the course that is already decided to major in neuroscience because of her experiences. Right. And so one of our ECISD students, they might find a cure someday for Alzheimer's disease or Parkinson's disease because they got interested in neuroscience here in Ector County ISD. So it's an incredible opportunity.
That's great. And you're right. I mean, I think, tonight's whole show is about these really unique opportunities that kids have. And certainly, this course is that unique opportunity, not something that you would find in a normal high school or a normal, public school situation. But our kids in ECISD have this incredible opportunity. So thank you for bringing it to them. And I saw that, it uses this course, the latest in brain research. And, scientists are continuously learning new information about the brain daily. And so this course really keeps our kids abreast of the latest information about what our scientists around the world are learning about the brain. Is that correct?
Yes, sir, it does, because they're actually working with those scientists and researchers. So we've had some of those partner universities, they've had their researchers virtually come in and guest speak. And so the students actually got to interact with those scientists and researchers and ask them questions and be mentored. They're getting to do their capstone projects in this course with actual cutting edge, real data. So that's unheard of. That's something that no other students that we know of are getting to do, especially in the field of neuroscience. So yes, they are on the cutting edge, and we're super excited. It's very cool.
Good. Well, thank you, Kristen. Thank you for taking the time to join us tonight, but also, and more importantly, thank you for the work that you've done to bring this incredible opportunity to kids in ECISD. I know that they will be grateful, and so all of their gratitude showered upon you for making this happen for them. So thank you.
It's an honor. Thank you.
Good stuff. All righty. As we transition from neuroscience, we're going to kind of stay with the brain for just a minute to augmented reality. I'm going to ask Jason Osborne to join us. Jason is our Chief Innovation Officer, and he and Kristen work together. And this opportunity with augmented reality is focused on a very special group of our kids. In fact, our special education students, Jason, if I'm not mistaken, have this really unique opportunity that you're not going to find in other districts. Jason, you want to talk to us about it?
Absolutely. And thank you for having me on here, Dr. Murray. And let's talk about what is the difference between augmented reality and virtual reality, because they truly are different. So if you think about augmented reality, the world around you, just like my office, still exists. But I put a pair of special glasses on and imagine a hologram that's in front of me that I can manipulate. So that's like augmented reality. Whereas virtual reality, like you just saw in the neuroscience video, is put it on your head and you're submersed into that world. So it's two different techniques. And what we're working on right now is we're looking at augmented reality for students in our transition learning center. So this is our 18 plus program for students with special needs, as well as we're looking at creating a program with students diagnosed with autism. So both these subsets of students will be able to look at latest and greatest in technology to look at everyday life situations and be immersed into those everyday life situations so they're ready for the real world, but they can do it in a safe environment. And then also, just like you saw the brain video, we want to make that available for those students as well and see where they take some of those big data analysis in virtual and augmented reality situations.
No, pretty fascinating. And just to think our kids have these opportunities virtual reality is something that probably more people are becoming familiar with, as VR glasses are pretty common in many homes today, as games. Video games have entered virtual reality, but augmented reality is, again, a bit unique, but exciting to see that our kids are having that opportunity. So, Jason, we are joined tonight by Lindy Robinson. Lindy is one of our special education teachers, and she actually uses augmented reality with her students in the Transition Learning Center. So, hey, Lindy, thank you for joining us tonight. Tell us a little bit about what do you do and where do you teach? Let's start there.
Well, thank you for having me. I am a facilitator over at the 18 Plus program, and I mainly work with technology. I've been working with Mr. Osborne and putting together lessons for our students, and using the augmented reality, we create lessons. The video we'll show in a minute is making pizza virtually. So
let's jump to that video, because I think, when we talk about augmented reality, many people may not be familiar with exactly what that looks like. So I'm going to let you kind of talk us through this video. These are some of your students, again, in our Transition Learning Center. They're 18 and over. And tell us what's going on and what are they using?
Well, you notice one of the students has a black pair, it kind of went quick, and one has a blue pair of goggles. So the student that had the black pair and has the stylus, the pin-looking thing in his hands, has control of the screen. The student in the back with blue, he's following along as they're putting together, assembling this pizza virtually. And so they're following the steps, and the stylus, the pen, actually vibrates. And you can see the 5. It tells them how many steps and what they need to be doing with each ingredient as they make a virtual pizza.
Yep.
So they have to prepare each ingredient. The application for this Z-Space is called Let's Cook. And they have to use their fine motor and slice each ingredient differently. So it does use your fine motor skills, to actually slice that bell pepper, to actually, slice a tomato. You have to have those fine motor skills. And if you do it incorrectly, it'll vibrate and tell you no, basically. The students love it.
Yeah, no, I can tell. What would these students be doing if they didn't have this technology?
That's a good question.
Yeah, because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I know that your students, part of their opportunity is to go out into the workforce and really learn those job skills so they can be successful. And because of the pandemic, they don't have these opportunities. And how would you recreate this experience without the technology?
Exactly. And for our lower functioning students, it gives them the ability to follow these steps without, they're using an oven without getting burned. It opens a lot of doors and prepares them for, the world of cooking without the danger, of a kitchen.
Yep.
And that's just one of the applications.
Tell us have you used other applications, Lindy, with kids in this?
Yes, sir. We've actually explored a lot of animals. That's one of the things they enjoy. They have played many games. We do a lot of fine motor building right now.
Yep.
Oh, go ahead.
Jason, as you've introduced this new technology to our special ed program, what next steps do you see in this area in not only maybe special ed, but also regular ed?
Well, I think we're going to be able to use special ed as the driver for some of our other students for some of these applications where, say, if you want to go to a credit union and you want to learn how to open an account, a checking account or a savings account. So we are working with our local university at University of Texas Permian Basin and some of their experts on how to film this and create apps in like the Z-Space machine that you just saw there, so that these students can manipulate a real life skill. And then we foresee that same skill being utilized in high schools and middle schools around our district. So I think that's kind of fascinating in itself. And it's just kind of a simple skill, but yet it's one of those that how many kids graduate high school and know how to open up a checking account. And so we want to make sure that this is yet another way that we can provide these skill sets. But we could take there's no end to it. So these same students that are sitting in front of this machine can learn how to tear apart an engine of a car and put it together. So it could be very complex. So tying CTE skills, even with our Transitional Learning Center, as well as abroad across our district.
So I think we have another guest in this segment, which is really kind of exciting. Really a brain behind some of this opportunity. Kevin, if you are still with us, we'd like to ask you to join us and tell us about your story. You aren't an ECISD employee, but yet you're intimately involved with the work that we're doing. Walk us through your involvement and what's happening within your own company and organization.
Absolutely. To give a little bit of context, Dr. Muri, I'm a former teacher and principal myself. I'm also the parent of 2 grown children, one of whom is a current educator, a classroom teacher. So I'm delighted to be able to work with a technology that is so deeply engaging for kids. And I can see from some of the comments that people can recognize how this level of engagement just really draws students into the learning, which is critically important. But we actually are partnering with a little over 100 school districts throughout the state of Texas currently, as well as throughout the nation and throughout the world. In fact, Moscow is looking at Z-Space currently. But the thing that's unique and special about our partnership with Ector County ISD is in working with Jason and his team and UT Permian Basin professors, we're looking at creating some applications of Z-Space that are unique to your transition center, the 18 plus program, and will be a one-of-its-kind application for building those life skills using the augmented virtual / mixed reality experiences. So it's incredibly exciting for us because what we know is not only will it benefit your students there in Ector County ISD, but the work that you're doing is going to be seen by educators throughout the nation and throughout the world. So this is an incredibly exciting partnership for us. It's unique, it's special. And as one of the viewers pointed out, thank you, Mr. Osborne, of thinking of all kids and starting with special education. We know that's an area where there's a lot of need in Texas to better serve kids. And working with educators like Ms. Robinson, it's just a delight for us. So it's a total pleasure to get to work with your district and to come up with innovative, creative ways to better serve learners.
Yeah, no, thank you, Kevin. Those are kind and thoughtful words. We appreciate the partnership, and you're right. It's the right thing to do for our special ed kids, and I'm glad that's where we launched this effort. And clearly it's making a difference. When you think about, again, this pandemic, these kids would not have these opportunities. They simply wouldn't. And, I think I put Lindy on the spot as the teacher. What would you do without this technology? Because the kids couldn't have those experiences. And I think it would be difficult to come up with real life experiences in our classrooms that kids could have. And thank goodness, technology to the rescue, Kevin to the rescue, Jason to the rescue, because now we have a group of kids that are having authentic experiences because of your efforts. So Lindy, anything else to add? I guess the last question I would ask you would be about just the reaction of your students. What has been their reaction to this and their level of involvement?
They adore it, and there's always, I have to pick and choose, who gets to come, and some of them mastered it and some of them are now teaching others, kind of like in that video we made. I have the ones who are picking up quicker, they're helping others, and that's why we made the video. That way, students learn best from others, at sometimes, and so they kind of inspired that video, and they've done a really good job, and we're a big fan of technology over at the Transition Learning Center.
Good. Thank you for sharing with us tonight. Thank you, Lindley. Thank you, Kevin, for being a part of this, and thank you for the work that you're doing to support all of our kids to make sure they have the right kind of experience, even in the middle of a pandemic. Good stuff is happening for kids. So thank you both. Hey, Jason, we're going to transition to talk about computer science. You know, we've actually talked a little bit about computer science. A couple of weeks ago, we mentioned it on ECISD Live. It was a part of our conversation, but let's dive a little bit deeper into that. Tell us about computer science in elementary school, middle school, high school. Walk us through what's happening in ECISD in this area.
Yeah, absolutely. And how exciting it is, because ECISD not that long ago was pretty behind the rest of the country when it came to computer science and integrating computer science. So we looked at it more holistically. So how do we not just catch up with others, but actually leap ahead? And our district came together at all levels, from teachers and principals to administration. And we are looking at a strategic plan to implement computer science in all levels. So pre-K all the way to 12th grade. So, and this is, you know, computer science is about problem solving. It's about logic. It's about creativity. And it's not just robotics. It's lots of different things. There's a lot of teamwork that's involved with it. And this is a really interesting fact, but the National Science Foundation took some data in Texas, and almost 40,000 job openings in the state of Texas, but only 4,000 graduates with computer science experience. So we're not setting those kids up for those future jobs. So we need to do better at that. So looking at it, a more holistic approach and getting everybody involved at all grade levels, and creating this kind of vertical alignment in computer science throughout all grades.
Yeah, and again, to your point, those opportunities are only going to continue to expand in the state of Texas and really around the world. And the pandemic has taught us that much of this work can happen in remote areas. Thanks to one of our new Texans, Elon Musk, our kids, because of Starlink and SpaceX, can now have internet broadband access in their homes. But he's also bringing new industries to the state of Texas. And one of the primary areas of focus for him is finding computer scientists. He needs in his organization, and that's just one industry in Texas of the many that are going to need this skill set to support the work that they're doing. And we are not only teaching it at the middle school and high school level, but also elementary. Tell us, there's a project that I think we've identified about 6 schools. They're going to be doing something specific. Jason, tell us a little bit more about that.
So there's these cool little robots called Ozbots and Bbots that they're playing with, and it teaches coding and ways to manipulate a little robot. And then there's a lot of ties to curriculum and cross-curricular curriculum, and anything from applying some artistic pieces to it as well as mathematics. They can read and write about that, and we are trying to implement that into multiple campuses to start as pilots. And our curriculum department or division has really took a hand on this to facilitate this at scale. I'm sorry. And you can see here some Bbots and some of the things that they're doing with those, and they're following a different path. And as they get to different areas, it picks up a level of code that a student might have created on a computer to tell it to do something. So in this case, it turned around, and now it'll do something else once it hits that picture. And then that skill set is elevated a little bit higher for some of the Ozbot type robots here, which is a little bit more sophisticated and a little bit more coding involved. But kids, this is a way for some really tangible hands-on learning. And we're excited. Last week, I think it was, that the summer school was announced about a lot of the robotics and computer science that are going to be integrated into those experiences for any kid or child that wants to sign up for summer school. So it's super exciting. And as you said, it's a very demanding thing in our not only in our community, but throughout the world to have these experiences in coding and computer science.
Yeah, no, absolutely. In fact, I believe a couple of weeks ago, we talked about, we just spent $250,000 on some new robotics opportunities for kids this summer. So, all of our kids, elementary, middle, and high school that have summer experiences will have this. We were joined tonight by one of our elementary principals, Miss Montelango. Amanda Montelango is an elementary principal in ECISD. And when you think computer science, you don't often think Amanda Elementary School. But tell us a little bit about computer science and elementary. What excites you about this as an elementary principal, and computer science really elementary?
Yes, and thank you for having me tonight, Dr. Murray. But, when the innovation department reached out to us and said, we have a lack of interest of kiddos wanting to do robotics at the junior high level, we really wanted to help improve that and give our kiddos those opportunities. Our kids, we are on the west side. Cavazos Elementary is located on the west side. We know that internet is a problem. Internet is an issue for some of our babies. And so if we could help bridge that gap for technology at the campus level, we were all in and ready to do it. I mean, I have teachers already engaging students and doing innovative lessons with them and using those Ozobots. So we made a very big investment in Ozobots at our campus. So I'm really excited about the things that we're ready, planning forward, moving forward up into the next school year. We're really looking to have even a 45-minute elective, maybe if our kiddos go once a week in kinder through 5th grade. For a coding lab. If we don't give our kiddos these opportunities, they're never going to spark that interest in it.
Sure. Tell us about what's your why. Clearly it's going to engage kids. They're interesting and exciting. But when you're an academic principal, your job is to make sure our kids are learning, reading and writing and science, et cetera. Talk about how this opportunity will help kids learn in those areas. What do you see?
So we are leading into a future of our kiddos have to have those technology skills. Even for their STAR test, we're going to have a STAR online test. Yet many of our kiddos have not had the opportunity to practice their typing skills or really, work on those critical thinking skills. And the use of Ozobots, having them be introduced to programming at such an early age helps spark that critical thinking in our kids and that love of learning and using technology. So, I mean, we're really excited for it. And I have teachers that have already, been trained in Ozobots use. I've got a 5th grade classroom that's already implementing the use. I mean, and it's doing it with cross-curricular activities. You can use these programming Ozobots with things like doing activities of orders of operation, multiplication. I've used the B-bots in the past in a pre-K setting. So it can be done. It just needs to be brought forward to the table for our babies.
I think one of the things that's interesting, and folks may not know this, but, kids that are looking for a foreign language, when we think foreign language at the high school level, we think, I'm going to take Spanish or I'm going to take German or French. But the reality is computer science is actually a foreign language. And so the children at Cavazos are learning a foreign language as they're traveling through Cavazos Elementary. That's pretty exciting for them, too. Good
Yes,
stuff.
sir.
All right. Hey, Amanda, thank you. Thank you, Jason, for bringing these opportunities, these very unusual opportunities in computer science to not only our high school kids, but middle school and even elementary school kids in ECISD have computer science opportunities. Thank you both for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Good stuff. All right. As we transition from computer science, let's talk about the HARP. We mentioned earlier that ECISD is the recipient for the 7th year in a row of one of the best communities for music education in the United States of America. And one reason for that is because of the plethora of opportunities that kids have at the elementary school, middle school, and high school in ECISD. And tonight, we're going to share with you one of those really unusual opportunities that students in ECISD have, and that is to play the harp. So Francesca Florence is the teacher of the harp students in ECISD. So Francesca, thank you for joining us tonight. It is a pleasure. I see you have harps in your background.
Yes.
Right? if you want to give us a solo at the end, you're welcome to do that. Some closing music, that'd be exciting. But tell us about it. Oh, harp, really? In ECISD?
Yeah, really, it's incredible. We are so lucky to have this here. It's super unique. We're one of less than 10 public school programs in the country that can offer harp. It's
Gotta stop
so
you there.
special.
10 in the country?
Yes.
Wow, that's definitely very special and very unique. That's
Yes.
impressive. Yep.
Yes.
Where do we offer the harp? Where do you teach?
Yes, so I travel throughout the day. I'm at Milam Elementary with 5th graders, and then I teach all grades at Bowie Middle School, and I teach all grades at Odessa High School.
So that's kind of the pathway. So harp at the elementary, harp at the middle school, and harp at the high school for our kids. Pretty exciting. Why? How did you get into this as a teacher? Did you grow up playing the harp? Kind of what drew you into that particular instrument?
So I'm actually from Detroit. I'm not a Texan, but I took harp at a summer camp while I was also playing violin and started taking lessons from there. So I didn't have an experience anything like this. It was a very solo opportunity for me. So it's very cool that the kids here are able to work as a group to play with other kids who play the harp. And that's one of the things that I love about working here is that I get to develop harpists who know how to work with other harpists.
Yeah, no, that's good. In fact, I think we have a video of your harpists in action. I think recently you may have taken a group of them to play at Bowie Middle School. In fact, were these your high school kids or middle school kids? Tell us about what we're seeing.
These are my high school kids. They played a couple songs in the morning just as kids were walking in. We're working right now to really build up the program at Bowie. So you do not have to start at Milam. You can start at any level. Beginners are welcome, at any of the schools, just as we get things really rolling and really build up our program. Yeah.
Very exciting. In fact, not only do we have a video, but I think we have one of your students with us tonight, Dahlia Velasquez. So Dahlia, if you're still here, let's talk to a real life harpist who is a student. Dahlia, hey, thanks for joining us tonight.
Hello.
Dahlia, you're a student where? Where do you go to school?
I go to school at OHS.
OHS. And you've been playing the harp for how long, Dahlia?
6, 7, 8, 9, 4 years now. Sorry, I had to count.
So 4 years. So so really since 6th grade.
Yes.
You started. Tell us about your why. Why is this instrument of interest to you? What drew you to the harp?
So I have many family members who have played the harp before. I think if I count correctly, there's about 6 of them.
Oh,
my
wow.
sisters have done it, and so has some of my cousins. So it was a tradition.
Have they all
that
done it at
I wanted
ECISD?
to carry along.
Did they take the class at ECISD, Dahlia?
Yes.
Oh, all
Back
of them.
whenever I
Wow.
was at Reagan.
Interesting. So is that your harp in the background?
This is lent to me by the school, so that way we could do virtual learning.
Got it. So you're learning the harp at home. Wow, I didn't realize that. You're a full-time virtual student?
No, sir. I go to school, but we have after school things that we do.
Got it. And so you're learning the harp virtually this year, correct?
They're at the beginning, yes.
Okay. Oh, that's nice. Good. And have you engaged in a virtual concert yet, or is that still pretty challenging to do?
We have never done a virtual.
No virtual concert. Francesca, is that in the future, perhaps a virtual concert?
Oh, I don't know about that. But we did record our Christmas concert in the classroom, and it's all on YouTube.
Yeah, no, that's pretty exciting. We'll have to. So, YouTube channel associated with Odessa High School, or do you have your own YouTube channel?
It's ECISD Harp.
Okay, no, that's pretty exciting. Good stuff. Hey, so talk about future plans. Dahlia, first, do you plan on continuing to play the harp as you travel through high school and beyond?
Yes, but I don't plan on that being my major.
Okay, all right. So it'll be a good hobby. Do you probably don't carry that harp around with you very much, do you?
No, sir.
No, it's a bit heavy. How much, I'm curious, either one of you, how much does a harp weigh?
The big ones are about 80 pounds.
Oh yeah, we don't carry that around, do we? No,
Yeah.
no, definitely not. That's good. All right. Hey, what's the future of this program, Francesca? In your vision, what do you hope that this does in ECISD?
I really want this program to grow and to prosper. I have lots of great stuff we want to do. We want to work a lot more with the orchestra in the coming years. Mr. Bedford over at OHS is trying to start like a flamenco group and include harp in that. There's lots of really cool stuff going on. We're trying to get more out into the community, especially as things start to open back up. We want to play at events. We want to, do everything we can to get in the public eye and to share music with people.
Good. No, I appreciate that. And I appreciated the opportunity again at Bowie, therefore the kids, as they came in, it exposes our students to something unique and different. You just can't walk around our community and see people playing the harp. And the kids in these schools have that opportunity. And again, one of 10 programs in the United States of America. You are clearly a reason that ECISD continues to be named one of the best communities in the country for music education, because kids just don't have these opportunities in other places, but they have them right here. And so thanks for the work that you do. And thank you both for joining us tonight and for sharing your talents with us and your dreams. And Dahlia, keep up the good work. I'm anxious to come and hear a concert. When will you be in action the next time? When's the next concert?
Our spring concert is May 18th, and we'll be in the PAC at OHS.
There we go. So May 18th, we'll be there. Anxious to hear it. All right, you guys. Take care. Thank you very much. You ladies have a good night. We appreciate it. And thank you. As you think about ECISD and opportunities for kids, our hope tonight was that you saw some of the incredible experiences that kids can have, some of the more unusual experiences that children have in attending ECISD. Elementary school, middle school, and high school. Opportunities abound for students. So again, thank you for joining us tonight. Scott Murray, ECISD Superintendent. It's my pleasure